Coffee first arrived in Vietnam in the 19th century when the French introduced it during the colonial period. Recognizing that the climate and soil of the Central Highlands were ideal for coffee cultivation, they quickly established large plantations, turning Vietnam into a key coffee producer in Indochina. Initially, coffee was a drink reserved for the elite and French settlers. European-style cafes appeared in Hanoi and Saigon, where colonial officials sipped espresso in leisurely afternoons. But over time, coffee made its way into everyday Vietnamese life, evolving to suit local tastes and drinking habits. Unlike in Western cultures, where coffee is often consumed quickly in small cups, Vietnamese people prefer to enjoy coffee slowly. This is why the fin drip filter method was created, becoming a symbol of Vietnamese coffee culture. A cup of fin coffee, slowly dripping, is not just a brewing method but a ritual of patience, reflecting the quiet and profound nature of the Vietnamese people. Additionally, Vietnam has introduced many unique coffee variations. Iced milk coffee, Sa Phi Sua, to a combination of strong coffee and sweetened condensed milk, creating a drink that is both bold and sweet. Egg coffee, Sa Phi Trung, an innovation from Hanoi, where egg yolks are whipped with sugar and milk, creating a rich, frothy layer atop hot coffee. Coconut coffee, Bac Xiao, Weasel coffee, Sa Phi Chan, and more. Each variation tells a different story and showcases Vietnam's limitless creativity. Throughout the war years, despite hardships, coffee remained a constant in daily life. Soldiers drank coffee to stay alert, while civilians relied on it as a source of comfort in tough times. During Vietnam's economic reform period, coffee became a major industry, propelling the country to become the world's second-largest coffee exporter, after Brazil. Today, coffee is more than just a drink. It's a culture and a way of life. Major coffee chains like Trung Nguyen, Highlands, and the Coffee House have elevated Vietnamese coffee, blending tradition with modern trends. At the same time, small cafes continue to preserve the old charm, where people can sit for hours, thinking, talking, or simply watching the world go by. From a foreign import during colonial times, coffee has become an inseparable part of Vietnamese life, a symbol of creativity, patience, and resilience. In a small alley in Hue, there is a coffee shop with no signboard and no loud advertisements, yet it is always bustling with customers. This humble shop is the birthplace of a unique beverage, salt coffee. The owner, a gentle and quiet middle-aged man, once shared that this drink was born from a seemingly simple mistake. Years ago, a young man, too nervous on his first date with the girl he secretly admired, accidentally put salt instead of sugar into his coffee. Realizing his mistake, he was so flustered that he didn't know what to do. The girl, with a playful smile, encouraged him to taste it. As they both took a sip, they were surprised. The characteristic bitterness of coffee was now softened, blending with the saltiness and the creamy taste of milk, creating an entirely new flavor. From that small mistake, salt coffee was born. The shop owner was inspired by this story and experimented to perfect the recipe, creating the ideal cup of salt coffee. He preserved the original bitterness of the coffee, adjusted the amount of salt to keep it balanced, and added a bit of milk to harmonize the flavors. At first, this drink was only known within a small circle, but gradually, everyone who visited the shop was drawn to this strangely familiar yet unique taste. From a tiny shop in a Hue alley, salt coffee has become a symbol of wonderful serendipity and the art of creating something extraordinary from the simplest things. When people first hear about salt coffee, they often wonder, why add salt to coffee? A pinch of salt can completely transform the taste of this drink, turning it into a unique experience unlike any other coffee. When a cup of salt coffee is served, the first impression comes from the smooth layer of milk foam, with a light brown color resembling an inviting cream. As you stir gently, the rich aroma of coffee rises, blending with the creamy scent of milk and a subtle yet intriguing sensation, something deep and inviting. The first sip brings a gentle saltiness, followed by the bitterness of coffee and the sweetness of milk, all merging into a perfectly balanced harmony. What makes salt special is its ability to mellow the bitterness of coffee without masking its essence. When salt interacts with taste buds, it neutralizes the natural bitter compounds in coffee, making the bitterness smoother and more pleasant. At the same time, salt enhances the sweetness, making the combination of milk and coffee naturally harmonious. Unlike traditional iced milk coffee or black coffee, salt coffee offers a full spectrum of flavors: bitter, salty, sweet, and creamy. It doesn't lean towards any one dominant taste but maintains a delicate balance, making each sip a refreshing experience. Beyond its taste, salt coffee also embodies a slow and relaxing rhythm, true to the coffee-drinking culture of Hue. It's not as hurried as an espresso, nor as sweet as a Bac Chio, Vietnamese-style milky coffee. Instead, salt coffee sits somewhere in between, a fusion of different flavor notes and poetic creativity. This is what makes salt coffee more than just a drink. It has become a refined cultural experience. Hue, a land of deep-rooted traditions and culture, is a place where every dish and every drink carries its own story. And salt coffee is one of those special marks, born from a small roadside shop, yet gradually becoming an essential part of local life. Walking around Hue on an early morning, with mist still lingering over the Perfume River, one can easily spot small coffee shops tucked away in quiet alleys. These places often have simple wooden tables and chairs, creating a peaceful ambience. Here, people are never in a rush. Coffee is not just a drink but a habit, a moment to slow down and savor life. Salt coffee first appeared in Hue and quickly became a symbol of creativity within the local coffee culture. Unlike in big cities where fast-paced life forces people to grab a quick morning coffee, in Hue, coffee drinking is almost a ritual, slow, thoughtful, and reflective. Like the people of Hue, salt coffee carries a fascinating contrast. Rich yet gentle, strong yet delicate. Just like the warm, deep tones of the Hue accent, salt coffee has the smoothness of milk, the saltiness that resembles the hard-working sweat of the locals, and the bitterness that reflects life's ups and downs. Many say that if you visit Hue without trying salt coffee, you haven't truly experienced the essence of this place. Perhaps it's not just about the taste but about the spirit of Hue, encapsulated in every drop of coffee. A blend of nostalgia and innovation. Today, salt coffee from Hue has traveled beyond its small alleyways, yet its Hue essence remains in every cup. People can drink salt coffee anywhere, but nothing compares to slowly sipping it by the Perfume River, listening to a Trin music song, and feeling the peaceful rhythm of Hue. Vietnam is not only the world's second-largest coffee exporter, but is also steadily establishing its quality and brand presence in the international market. Impressive export figures. Vietnam supplies about 40% of the world's Robusta coffee. Annual coffee exports exceed $3 billion, ranking Vietnam among the top global coffee exporters. Major export markets include the US, EU, Japan, South Korea, and China. From raw coffee to global brands, Previously, Vietnam primarily exported raw coffee beans. However, many domestic brands like Trung Nguyen, Highlands Coffee, Vina Cafe, and the Coffee House have expanded internationally, bringing Vietnamese coffee culture to global consumers. Trung Nguyen Legend is now present in over 60 countries. Vietnamese drip coffee bags are becoming increasingly popular in international supermarkets. Many Vietnamese coffee chains are opening locations in the US, South Korea, and Japan. Despite its advantages, Vietnam's coffee industry faces challenges related to quality, branding, and competition from other coffee-producing nations. Moving forward, the country must focus on organic coffee, deep processing, and stronger branding to maintain its global position. In the digital age, technology is transforming how Vietnamese coffee is grown, brewed, and consumed. Technology in coffee production. AI and IoT are being applied in coffee farming to optimize productivity and reduce environmental impact. Organic coffee is gaining popularity, meeting international market demands. The rise of takeaway and online coffee orders. The growth of food delivery apps like GrabFood, Shopee Food, and Baimin has made Vietnamese coffee more accessible than ever. Many people now prefer ordering takeaway coffee instead of sitting at a cafe. The boom of specialty coffee. Traditionally, Vietnamese people favored strong Robusta coffee, but specialty coffee, high-quality Arabica, hand-brewed methods like V60, Chemex, and AeroPress, is now growing in popularity, especially among coffee enthusiasts. Over the past century, coffee has evolved from an agricultural product into a cultural and lifestyle symbol in Vietnam. Coffee and the Vietnamese spirit. Coffee is deeply connected to workers, intellectuals, artists, and entrepreneurs, creating spaces for creativity, reflection, and connection. A morning coffee can either kickstart a productive day or serve as a moment of relaxation in a busy life. The future of Vietnamese coffee. Clean and organic coffee will dominate future trends. Coffee shops combined with co-working spaces will thrive. Vietnamese coffee brands have the potential to compete with giants like Starbucks and Nespresso. A cup of coffee, a story of its own. Whether it's salt coffee from Hue, egg coffee from Hanoi, or classic iced milk coffee, every cup of Vietnamese coffee tells a story, one of culture, history, and identity. And this journey is far from over. Thank you for listening patiently up to this point, and I would like to congratulate you on your listening, comprehension, and vocabulary skills improving every day. Along with that, your ability to concentrate has been and will gradually take shape. All the necessary abilities to succeed, whether in study or work, are thoroughly explored in each video I post. I wish you happy studying, and see you in the next videos.